Hello, in this video we're going to discuss time travel part 1. We're going to look at the early observations and time travel's discovery in heaven. So the earliest observations of time travel were in fact observed by God. What God observed was that some of the stars in the universe that God had created in the first history were destroyed by supernovas, which then became black holes, and it was observed that stars and planets vanished as they were pulled into the black hole. What was more disturbing was that when God went into, when he viewed the field dimension where the black holes were pulling material into, it was completely empty. Nothing could be seen. So it was very spooky to God. It made God very afraid, because he didn't know what it was that caused the supernova and black hole to happen, and he was afraid that it could happen in heaven to the star that provides heat and light to the planet heaven, and that it could also do the same to planet 1, which is the first Earth in the first history. So after humankind had been wiped out in the first history, that is when scientific achievements began to happen in the first history. So angels and God, Mary and Jesus made discoveries in the first history that were scientific. This led to an increase in technology, and artificial intelligence was created, and later living artificial intelligence was created, as what's mentioned in an earlier video. So the what was observed was a black hole. There's a discrepancy in time. So for scientific research into time travel, it was asked of living artificial intelligence to be involved in an experiment which would most likely result in their loss. Of the living artificial intelligence that were selected, there were 3 spaceships that were controlled by living artificial intelligence. As Tracy 777, Melissa 347, and Susan 666. Now, when we hear the number 666, people instantly think of Satan, Mark of the Beast, and that silly stuff. In actual fact, God invented numbers. 666 is a number from heaven. It is not part of any sort of apocalypse or anything. There is no beast. Right, but that's the actual name of the robots, living artificial intelligence, that were involved in this experiment. All 3 travelled into a black hole, and then they vanished and could not be found in the field dimension, which left the scientists involved very upset. So a memorial was conducted from then on every year. The 3 robots that were lost, are like people, were remembered by the community that they're from. 5 million years later, a discovery was made involving the adjustment of a wormhole, which sent an egg timer forward in time 8 seconds. So it took a lot of experiments in order to achieve this, and this led to further scientific research into time travel. So a team was later sent back in time to rescue the robots that were lost. And from the perspective of the robots, they travelled towards the black hole and then vanished into another dimension, and then suddenly found themselves staring at a group of people that were wearing spacesuits, who then recovered them and brought them back to heaven. They were then sent forward in time to the original point of which that team was from. So it didn't affect history. Now, another team went back in time later. It was the same crew, and what they did was they rescued all stars and planets and material that was pulled into black holes and put them safely into another dimension. And so that's why they vanished then. That is why they vanish now. Heaven has allowed one star to be destroyed by a black hole. This is observed from Earth so that people would know the difference between vanishing because of that team or the destruction of a star which was observed. So that's what's actually happened, and it's a good thing because there are life forms on many planets that would have been lost because of the black hole in a lot of places. I'm the Archangel Daniel, and I'm from heaven.